Obama's bringing up immigration again, and that reform movement is going to gather a little bit more steam once and if they are ever done with healthcare reform. And it's interesting to see how it's playing out. As I was looking at how the different sides are lining up, and I want you to do this as we go into this new topic, right? It's new in the sense that Obama administration is going to tackle it for the first time. And here's a little guide you could always use. See where the money is, and then you'll see where the votes go, okay? So in the case of immigration, now we got a lot of passions on both sides. You've got a lot of people in the country saying, we need a border fence and the damn immigrants are taking our jobs, etc. But those people don't have any money, okay? That's why the system hasn't been fixed. They can yell and scream, and they do, and they're very animated about that. But, or right or wrong, they get largely ignored, okay? On the other side, you have the people who are in favor of the immigration, making it some sort of sane system so that we have a pathway to citizenship, so people can come and have the jobs that they came here for, but not be in this crazy illegal status, etc. But those people, well, they don't have the money either, right? So they get ignored, so the system can keep on going as it is. Now wait, who has the money and who's benefiting from the current system? Well, it's the large companies that use this illegal labor, which they full well know is illegal, and that they use it for very, very cheap prices. In some cases, like a famous case in Florida, it's literally slave labor that they're using. They don't let the people leave, once this was found out. Where else is it happening in the country? I don't know, but the tomato pickers in Florida, they literally were not allowed to leave, and they were being used as slaves. And that's part of the reason, now of course it's a small part, but a part of the reason that we have cheap tomatoes in the country, because we don't pay the people who pick them, or we pay them a very, very low fee. Now the broader issue of incredibly low wages for these illegal immigrants is what keeps a lot of our food prices down. So there's a lot of Americans who benefit from that. I mean, let's keep it real, right? So they're not motivated to say, no, I want my tomatoes to cost more. And there's a lot of companies, much more importantly, that make a lot of money off that. And they're not motivated to fix the system because you might take away their cheap labor. They might actually have to, A, give more money to the people who work for them, and B, actually bring them within a legal system that gives them more rights, etc., protections. And you might say, here we go, yeah, now they're going to get rights and protections. But dude, they were keeping them as slaves in Florida. Do you understand? They couldn't leave. They weren't getting paid anything. They were brought in against their will. Okay, I mean, now that you could say that's one case, but it's not just one case. There's a lot of that. And to me, the bigger problem is not even those cases, but the parts where, well, they were brought in by a coyote. They owe him money, right? And it's not technically slave labor, but they make a very, very, small wage, and they got to spend most of that on the people who smuggle them in, et cetera, et cetera. And then the the employers, no, they can do anything they want to them. Because they say, you're going to complain? Okay, that's it. You get kicked out of the country. And that is a system that is obviously going to and has led to tremendous abuse. So that's why the system hasn't been fixed so far, because people make money off of it. Now, if it's going to get fixed, the only thing that could trump it is votes, right? And why? It's this battle that Michael Moore talks about in his movie of democracy versus capitalism, right? People vote with their dollars, people vote with their ballots. And so Obama promised the Hispanic community that they were going to get real immigration reform and that he was going to push for it, right? Now, that led him to getting a hell of a lot more Latino votes than John McCain did. And those guys this is their primary issue, right? So the leaders in that community are not going to forget. And the people in that community are not going to forget. So if they get screwed on this, who knows, maybe the Democrats and Obama can keep playing their old game, which is, no, I'm on your side. Of course. Just wait. We'll get to it, okay? Meanwhile, they turn around to the tomato factories and et cetera, all the people who make the food industry, say, give me. See, I made them wait a couple more years. And I'm making wait a couple more years. Give me, right? So that's usually the scam that's played. We'll see how much influence the Latino community can do to put on Obama to actually get this done. If he feels he's slipping in the polls in that community in a way that it's going to cost the Democratic Party, well, then that might actually lead to some sort of real reform. And the guys who are most animated about this on the right-wing side, look, you'll get a couple things thrown at you. You know, you'll get some company who's going to get rich off of building a nonsense border fence that's going to cover like a third of the border and hence be totally pointless, okay? But he'll make his money, and then they'll pretend it's about you and assuaging you. But they don't. They're not. You don't have any power either. You think you got power? You don't. It's about the people who pay our politicians. It's the same story over and over again. So as we follow that story as it develops, I will point out to you the places where I think, you know, the real story behind the story, which the media won't give you. They'll give you, oh, the Republicans are in favor of, you know, getting tough on immigration, and the Democrats are in favor of, you know, pathway to citizenship. And meanwhile, not mentioning the corporate interests at all, which is the real underlying story. So we'll do our best in covering that for you as it goes forward.